Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eloria, there lived a young princess named Lyra. She had long, flowing hair the color of wheat in the summer sun, and eyes as bright as the morning sky. But what made her truly special was not her beauty, it was her love for plants and flowers. While most princesses spent their days in ballrooms or learning court etiquette, Lyra preferred to spend hers in the royal garden. She would kneel in the soil, planting tiny seeds, watering them, and whispering gentle words to encourage them to grow. Her garden was unlike any other in the kingdom. It was a rainbow of blooms, roses in every shade imaginable, jasmine vines twining around marble pillars, lilies floating in sparkling ponds. People from nearby villages would come just to see the beauty she had nurtured. Yet, Lyra had one wish that her garden could not fulfill. She dreamed of a garden that floated high in the sky, among the clouds, where rare flowers from distant lands could grow, untouched by storms or drought. A sky garden. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lyra sat with her nursemaid, old Mara, who told her ancient tales. "My princess," Amara said, "there is a sky garden. It was built by the wind spirits centuries ago, hidden among the clouds. Only those with a pure heart and unwavering love for nature can find it." Lyra's eyes widened. "Where is it? How do I reach it?" Mara smiled sadly. "No one knows the exact path. The winds guard it fiercely. But legend says that when the right person calls upon them, they will open the way." That night, Lyra lay in bed, staring at the moon. She could almost imagine flowers swaying gently on a floating island above her. Her heart burned with determination. "I will find it," she promised herself. A week later, as Lyra tended to her roses, she felt a strange breeze caress her face. It was warm yet carried a whisper, like a voice speaking through the air. "Lyra," it seemed to say. She froze, glancing around. "Who's there?" The wind rustled the petals, and the voice came again, faint but clear. "Follow me, if you wish to see the sky garden." Her heart pounded. She knew this could only be the wind spirits Mara had spoken of. Without hesitation, she tied her hair back, packed a small satchel with water and a loaf of bread, and followed the shifting breeze out of the palace grounds. The wind led her past meadows, over hills, and into a valley filled with tall, silver-leaved trees. At the center stood a spiraling tower of white stone, gleaming in the sunlight. The base of the tower was carved with swirling patterns that seemed to move when she looked at them. At its entrance, a guardian made of air and light appeared. Its shape shifted constantly, sometimes a woman, sometimes a bird, sometimes just a swirl of mist. "Why do you seek the sky garden, Princess of Eloria?" the guardian asked in a voice like rustling leaves. "I wish to protect rare flowers and grow them in a place where they will never wither," Lyra replied. "I wish to share their beauty with the world." The guardian studied her, then nodded. "If your heart is true, climb the Tower of Winds. Each level will test your love for the living earth. Only then will the way to the sky garden open." Taking a deep breath, Lyra began to climb. The first level was a round room with soil covering the floor. In the center lay a tiny sapling, drooping and pale. Beside it was a silver jug filled with water. A voice echoed, "This sapling is dying. Save it." Lyra poured the water carefully, but the plant remained weak. She frowned, remembering her own gardening experience. She dug gently around its roots, finding that the soil was packed too tightly. She loosened it, sang softly to the plant, and shielded it from the harsh light pouring in from a high window. Slowly, the sapling straightened, its leaves turning green. The voice returned, "You have shown patience and care. Climb higher." The next chamber opened into a vast meadow, except everything was brown and lifeless. No flowers bloomed, no grass swayed. At the far end sat a large, locked gate. A sign beside it read, "Restore the meadow, and the gate will open." Lyra searched her satchel but found no seeds. She knelt on the ground, pressing her hands to the soil. "If you can hear me, dear Earth, wake up." As she closed her eyes and focused, warmth spread from her fingertips into the ground. Green shoots began to push through the soil. Soon, flowers of every color unfurled their petals, and the air filled with the hum of bees and the songs of birds. The gate swung open, revealing a staircase of wind leading upward. The next level was unlike the others. It was a rooftop garden being torn apart by a fierce storm. Plants were being ripped from the soil, pots shattered, leaves torn. A voice shouted over the roar of the wind, "I protect them." Without hesitation, Lyra removed her cloak and used it to shield the most fragile plants. She built makeshift barriers from fallen branches and used her own body to block the wind from delicate blossoms. Her hair whipped around her face, rain stung her skin, but she did not move until the storm finally calmed. The voice spoke again, "Gentle now, you have braved the storm for the sake of life. One final step remains." The guardian reappeared before her. "You have passed the tests. But the sky garden is not reached by ladders or stairs, it is reached by trust." Before Lyra, the clouds parted, revealing a narrow bridge made entirely of shimmering wind. Below was nothing but endless sky. She swallowed hard. One wrong step, and she would fall into the clouds. But she thought of the sky garden, of flowers yet unseen, and stepped forward. The bridge shifted beneath her, but she kept her eyes ahead, walking steadily until the other side came into view, a floating island covered in lush greenery, bathed in golden sunlight. Lyra stepped onto the island, and her breath caught. Here were flowers she had only read about in old books, moon-petaled blossoms that glowed at night, singing lilies whose petals chimed like bells in the wind, vines that shimmered with silver leaves. Butterflies with crystal wings flitted between blooms, and streams of clear water sparkled like liquid diamonds. At the center stood a massive tree whose branches formed a natural canopy, shading an ancient stone bench. The guardian's voice echoed once more, "This is now your garden, princess. Care for it, and it will thrive forever. But remember, it exists not for possession, but for sharing. Invite those who will respect its beauty, and the sky garden will bless your kingdom." Lyra returned to a laurier with seeds from the sky garden. She planted them in the royal grounds, and soon rare flowers bloomed where none had grown before. People from faraway lands came to see them, and the kingdom prospered. But the greatest beauty remained high above the clouds, tended by Lyra herself. She would visit it often, carrying children, scholars, and gardeners who truly loved plants. The sky garden became a place of learning and wonder, where people understood that caring for nature was as noble as any royal duty. And so, the princess's dream came true, not just for herself, but for everyone. The sky garden remained a floating paradise, a reminder that love, patience, and courage can make even the most impossible dreams take root.